If you're struggling to get qualified leads through LinkedIn, then here is the routine that I tend to use to try and get more qualified ones. So first of all, let's talk about the problem. Why is it so difficult to get qualified leads? Well, the first thing is it might be very difficult to tell what's even working to begin with. And I've spoken to founders where they just didn't really know what was working and what wasn't working. They were just doing stuff because they knew that would get them somewhere as opposed to just doing nothing. So that was really the main problem. And if you really think about the sort of approaches and system that you'd have in place, if you didn't really have a real system in place, and you can't get feedback on what's working and what's not, you're just throwing things up in the air. The second problem is that you don't have control over content. Right now, I see a lot of founders that will be doing content, and that's great, right? It's good to have content going out there, as that is just a nice way to build authority and can help with getting leads. However, the problem is that you don't have any control over it, right? The algorithm does, and so whenever you're putting out whatever post it might be, whether it's a video, whether it's something written, you don't control any of this, right? This is just the algorithm. So it makes it very difficult to attract the right people because if it's controlled by the algorithm, what this means is that you don't get to pick who sees it or even the amount of people that see it. So it makes it very difficult to get consistent leads or have anything predictable coming through when you don't have control over that. And the last thing is you might not know what qualified leads even look like on LinkedIn, quite simply. And so if you don't know what they look like, how are you supposed to know if you're getting them or even if the right people are seeing them? So what most people will do, well, most people effectively will post and pray. They'll post and pray and they'll just simply put out content and hope things fall together. And honestly speaking, I think people that post content consistently are doing a really good job and the content they put out is really good. However, like I said before, you don't have control over the algorithm or who your content goes out to. So this is the main problem. What I also find is a lot of founders, sometimes coaches as well, will often rely on referrals and even just current clients. That's just more of an easier thing to do. However, the problem is just like the post and praying, you don't really have much control over, the referrals that come through and so on and so forth. And that's obviously going to be a problem because if you don't have control, then what you're effectively left with is what is the reactional strategy, where you are just simply reacting to your environment, reacting to what's happening, and you can't fully feel confident and secure with what you're doing. So here's what actually works and what I found works when it comes to actually trying to get more consistent and qualified leads. So the first thing and the main thing here is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you don't know or have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, all this is going to help us do is create a very specific list of our ideal client for us to then reach out to, right? And this can be summarized into lots of different categories. We can filter for things like the role, the experience, if they posted recently on LinkedIn, and even things like the industry, location, and so much more. So why does this even matter and should you even be spending the money? Well, the thing is if you can really filter for the specific individual. So for me, right, I might filter for someone that's a founder. Perhaps, I might filter for a certain head count. So maybe that's, I don't know, 1 to 10 or even, up to about 50 or something. And I might even look to filter for if they post on LinkedIn, right? Because I want to make sure that these people that are seeing me are active, right? So these are the things I filter for, and even things in terms of industry. Now, what it means is that when we have this list, we've then got lots of ideal clients or people that better match who we think we'd work well with right in front of us. And this list size will probably come out as something maybe ideally, I'd say you want to aim between maybe 2K to maybe about like 10K, well, 2,000 to 10,000 in terms of the list size, just simply because you want it to be specific, but not too specific to the point where you don't have enough people. And so when you have all that list of people, what do you then do, right? You want to get in front of these people, right? You know they're out there. So really the next thing for me is a very simple thing that you can start doing today is just start sending connection. Start sending 20 to 30 connection requests every day or on a somewhat regular basis and just start doing that. Because what is that going to do? Well, if you are sending, say, 20 to 30 connection requests every single day to your ideal clients, well, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to grow, right? And you're going to grow from a follower perspective if you really care about that. Your audience is just generally going to grow because the people that do effectively accept that connection request will become a follower, they'll be in your network, and they'll be more likely to see the stuff you're doing. What's more important is that what will happen is that people will start to see the stuff you're doing, right? They'll start to see, like they'll see your LinkedIn profile. They'll see your LinkedIn profile. They'll see the stuff you're doing. They'll see your banner, your headlines. You want to make sure that your profile is in a very good position. And by that, I mean, is it clearly communicating who you help, what you do, and how you do it? That sort of thing. And this means, right? Let's say that out of the 20 to 30 people you send connection requests to, and this is no note, by the way, just have it completely empty. This means that assuming these people are relatively active, you know for a fact that every single day, right? Every single day, you are getting in front of 20 to 30 potential ideal clients. You know that, right? Because sure, they could see it, they can ignore it, doesn't matter. You know for sure that you're getting in front of. Then it's a matter of do they accept? And if they do accept, then this then allows you to then reach out to them on a warmer basis because chances are if they've seen you go and connect to them, chances are what's happened is that they've taken a look, for example, at your profile. Taking a look at your profile, they've perhaps seen a few bits of the sort of content you've been putting out. And if that resonates with them, if what you have speaks to their problems, they're going to be far more likely to then perhaps reach out to you or be more open to responding to messages from you. Now, usually what I do from here is that I take the new connections and new people and then start that conversation. And I've covered this in other videos, so I'm not going to dive too much into it today. But what really matters here is this. If you're trying to get qualified leads through LinkedIn, you need control, right? You need to have control of it. You need to be able to say that you can see those individuals and you're getting in front of them. And so even something as simple as getting LinkedIn Sales Navigator, right? Being able to filter for what you believe your ideal client to be and doing something as simple as sending 20 to 30 connection requests a day. That's it, right? If you can add warm outreach to that, that's great. And I've covered other videos on this. But if you could just do that, you're going to have a very good idea that these ideal clients are going to be coming in front of you every single day. So hopefully you found this useful. And if you want help getting more consistent and qualified leads, you can visit the description and see more about how I can help you. Other than that, hope you found this useful and I'll chat soon.